Alright then, lads, today we're going to be talking about the, well, is it controversial? I don't think it's controversial, but it's a bit of a hot topic right now, and that's the token market. Now, this video is just going to explain why I don't think the token market is going to basically be what everyone thinks it's going to be, just because, well, there's one reason, and we'll get into it. Alright boys, so in terms of like the token market, so I've had theories, everyone's had theories and predictions of when the token market's going to be coming. Of course, last year in 2K20 it came out, I think, in around January, and we're currently in May. So yeah, I don't know when 2K are going to drop it, but I think I know why they've extended it and why they've sort of like pushed back the token market as to like just here's the theory, here's my theory, right? Say for example, right? Now I have 1,565 tokens. Now my token amount is kind of low compared to other people. I've seen people with 2,000, I've seen people with 3,000. I know someone with 8,000. And I wish I was joking, 8,000 tokens. So, say for example, right, I have 1,565. Now, the reason why people want, well, let's get into the reason why people want the token market open. The reason why the people want the token market open is because last year there was packs that you can buy for 6 tokens and you get at least 1,000 MT, because you get at least an emerald quick sell, so that's 550. You get a jersey that was 250. You get a contract you can sell for more than 250. You could get a shoe, you could get an injury card, you could just get a lot of stuff that you could just quick sell. So on average, you would get around 1,000 MT. Now, if I take my 1,565 tokens and divide it by 6, that is 260 packs. So that is 260,000 MT. Now, imagine, obviously that's just me. That's just 260,000 MT. Now, imagine that everyone is doing that. Like a couple 100,000 people are doing that, and they all have basically 1,000 MT. That could potentially be about 260 million MT being pumped into this game. Now, there's a bit of an underlying issue with that. Now you might think, oh, that'll be amazing. That'll be, you know, everyone will have MT. But the big issue with everyone having MT is it will bring the market down, because everyone will have MT to just go buy whoever they want. Say for example, you have 3 million MT. If you buy a card for 50,000 MT, you're not really gonna notice it, are you? Like, so then if you don't notice it, you forget your players in your club or your collection, and then everyone will start hoarding cards. Thus, it will make quite a few cards extinct. Now, this has happened. Now, this is a different game, don't get me wrong, it's a different franchise, but in FIFA 15, there was a MT glitch, we'll call it, but it was a coin glitch. Now, essentially what would happen is, say for example, right, you played a game of Unlimited, and instead of the 900 MT you get in the game, you get a couple 100,000. That is basically what the glitch was. It would give you a couple 100,000 coins / MT, and obviously then people would sell the MT, and obviously thus it made buying, like, you could buy like 4 million coins on FIFA 15 for like 20 bucks. Like think of that in like MyTeam terms. If you buy 4 million MT, what's that? That's like, I generally don't know, like 150 bucks, something like that. So yeah, it really put into perspective how little people like thought of coins, how valueless coins were. Now that will basically turn into what MT will, because if you buy, say that person who has 8,000 tokens, if you divide that by 6, that's 1,333 tokens. That's basically 1.3 million that will just get pumped into his account. Now, again, you have to think, that's just one person. One person could bring in 1 million MT into the game that doesn't exist already. So if you think, for example, you have 100,000 people. Let's do this, for example. So 100,000 people have 1,000 tokens. So 100,000 times 1,000, that is 100 million tokens, right? So 100,000 people, which isn't a lot of people in the grand scheme of 2K, all have 1,000 tokens. So 100,000, 100 million tokens. If you divide that by 6, I don't even know what that number is. Is that 16 million? That is 16 million. So 16 million, right? This is so stupid. 16 million packs people are opening. Times that by 1,000, because that's on average what you get in a pack. I don't know what that number is. It's that I generally don't know. I think that's 16 billion. Now, if I've done the math wrong there, obviously I've massively misinterpreted that. But let me just think. 100,000, so 100,000 people, times 1,000, so it's 1,000 tokens, gets you 100 million tokens. Now, 100 million divided by 6 is 16 million. So that's 16 million tokens times by 1,000 is 16.666.666.666. So that's 16 billion. Now, can you see the issue with all that MT being pumped into the market just by 100,000 people? Remember, there are millions of people who play this game, and while obviously the millions of those people don't have 1,000 tokens, they will definitely all add up. There are quite a few people, obviously, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 tokens. So the actual issue of people of that amount of MT to that level being pumped into this game would be disastrous. It would actually be disastrous. Like, players would go extinct because people would have so much MT that they'll just hoard cards. Like, for example, if you look at this is going to be a perfect example. So you know these cards, this Michael Jordan, there's 4 of him. Because people have locked him in sets, so it'll essentially be people are locking in sets without actually locking in the cards. So cards will just quickly go extinct because there'll be so much MT in the market that people will have so much MT that they can just buy whichever card they want and not have to worry about selling it. Now, what is my actual theory as to what 2K are going to do with this set? They're probably going to do with what they did at the end of last year, in terms of you'll have, say, spend 1,000 tokens and you'll get one of, like, T-Mac, like Ben Simmons, Kobe Bryant. That'll basically what it be. Obviously not T-Mac, but another player on that level. That's basically what I think they're going to do. I don't think the token market is going to be like what everyone thinks it is, because if it is, this market will be incredibly dead. Also, I want to point out as well, what packs are they going to do this with? If they are going to do this 6 token, like, aspect of it. So, a lot of these cards they've already given away in locker codes. This Kobe Bryant was given away in a locker code. All these playoff stoppers. Remember when this Ben Wallace was literally extinct on the market? Remember when this Mark Eaton? Remember when this Lamar Odom? They were all basically extinct on the market. Now, obviously, there's not as many of those cards because people are doing what I'm doing here. They are hoarding the cards. They are not selling their cards because, one, they just forgot they're in their collection. And 2, it's just like, why would you sell them? You don't get anything a lot for them. You can just lock in for this card if you really wanted to. Also, a lot of people have already locked in these sets anyway, because when these cards were given away for free, you can literally go buy these cards for like 4K. And then at that point, you've locked them in, and at that point, the card is literally stuck in your collection, and you can't get it out. That's what a lot of people have done. A lot of people are doing what I'm doing, and that's hoarding the cards, like literally keeping them in their collection just in case something comes up. Just in case, for example, you need a Mark Eaton card to get 8 blocks in 4 games or something. All of a sudden, this Mark Eaton card will spike in price because he's literally dirt cheap at the moment. There's a snipe there. I'll take that. That's a literal thing that will happen here. Imagine me getting sniped while recording videos. That's kind of funny. So that is literally the thing that will happen if 2K do this. If 2K do the token market the way that it was done last year, because they've left it so late, because they've left it, like, obviously until May, when it was in January, obviously people didn't have as much tokens as they do now. But because we're in May and everyone, like, there's literally thousands of tokens in this game mode. Unless they drop something before they open the token market that basically gets rid of everyone's tokens, which is very unlikely because people are saving their tokens for the token market. Unless they drop something like spend 2,000 tokens and get an unbelievable player, you will see this issue of, if they drop the 6 token packs, you will see millions, and not even millions, billions of MT being pumped into this game mode. And that will create an absolute disaster for this game mode. Like, just cards, like the higher tier cards will probably go extinct, like this Ben Simmons or whatever, will probably go extinct because there's not that much, like, pool of the cards. Say this again, 1,000 of obviously 100,000 has 1,000 tokens, makes 16 billion MT in this game. What's like 500,000 compared to 16 billion? Like, again, while it is spread over 100,000 people, that is still a lot of MT. You will slowly see these cards go extinct because it has happened before. Again, it's a different game mode, but it's the same premise. In FIFA 15 Ultimate Team, cards literally went extinct because the amount of coins that were in the market, the amount of coins people had, and with how cheap the players were, how cheap the players were going, you slowly saw cards just disappearing off the market. because people were keeping them in their collection, because why would you sell them? They're so cheap, why would you sell them? You don't get anything for it. And because you only get like, I think 10,000 MT for basically a Lamar Odom and Isaiah Thomas, if you have like a 2 million MT account, what's 10,000 MT? You might as well just keep it in your collection because it's only 10,000. You may as well keep it in your collection just because if an agenda pops up that requires a Lamar Odom, his price is gonna spike. So yeah, that's the issue I have with the token market at the moment, and it's why I think 2K are kind of justified. I wouldn't say justified because obviously it's their fault, they've left it too late. But I think it's the reason why 2K haven't dropped the token market yet, is because if they drop the token market and they have the 6 token packs, the market will implode with how cheap, with how extinct the cards will be, because everyone will have MT. It'll be insane. It will actually be insane. Also, as well, you could say goodbye to potentially this this largest sale of all time, this card. Say for example, right, they drop a Dartmouth LeBron point guard LeBron James, and they've dropped the token market like a week before. Could you imagine what that first card will expire for? It could potentially go for like 7 million MT, because everyone will have MT, everyone will be bidding up the card, and thus it would make cards ridiculously expensive. If you start the game without tokens while the token markets happened, affording some of the higher tier Dark Matter cards will literally almost be impossible, because you don't have the capital of tokens to just go splurge 2,000 tokens on on token packs to give yourself obviously that bit of capital to make more MT. It'll be an interesting situation. It'll definitely be an interesting situation. So let me know, guys, down in the comments, why do you think 2K haven't dropped the token market? Because I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about it. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are brand new around here. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace. I want to give a massive shout out to channel members Ants, Ways, Hans, Lewis, Wallow, Casey, Magic Magpie, Michael, Mario, Kia, Hammer, Jack, Lindsay, and Josh's mum. Thank you guys so much for all your support.